Second point. So one of the criteria for a private limited company to get the status of small company is paid up capital criteria, which should not exceed 50 lakhs. What is the second criteria? And which means this condition should also be satisfied. Any one or two, any one condition is not sufficient. 1 and 2, both the conditions should be satisfied. Now, what is the turnover criteria? Turnover as per immediately preceding financial year. Turnover as per immediately preceding financial year. Today, as on today, 28th July 2020, we are in which financial year? 2020, 2021. So 2021 financial year we are. For us, what is the immediate preceding financial year? 1920. Logically, 1920. If my company is a private limited company, I want to get small company recognition. I saw paid up capital, 48 lakhs. Condition 1 satisfied. I saw turnover. I need to look at last year turnover, schedule 3 turnover. I saw the turnover. How much it should not exceed? It should not exceed 2 crore rupee. It should not exceed 2 crore rupee or such higher amount as may be prescribed. Right now, nothing is prescribed. Right now, nothing is prescribed. So obviously, which limit we will count? 2 crores. I saw last year, 31st March 2020. I saw the balance sheet. When I saw the balance sheet, the turnover is 1.7 crore. Fine, paid up capital is 48 lakhs. Immediate preceding financial year turnover is 1.8 crore. Both the conditions are satisfied. Now my company can be called as a small company. Are you getting the point? All of you. So my company will get the status of a small company. Sir, okay, fine. I understand what is small company, what is private limited, what is public limited. Can you tell me exactly what benefits a small company will get? What are the benefits a small company gets? Can I get an idea? Can you give me an example? Yes, we are given in the next page. Benefits of a small company. Small company can just hold 2 board meetings in a year. See, this is only for academic interest. I even wrote that point, academic interest. Okay, need not be relevant for exams. Rotation of auditors will not apply. We will discuss what is rotation of auditors in accounts and auditors chapter, which is last chapter in our book. And annual return. Every company has to file annual return. There is a concept called annual return, which we will discuss in the meetings chapter. Management administration chapter. We have a chapter on that. There we will be discussing. A small company need not prepare cash flow. Another biggest advantage. But of course, I'm telling you, most of the companies voluntarily prepare cash flow, because cash flow statement is such a good statement which helps in decision making. Okay. And auditors need not report on operating effectiveness of the internal financial controls with respect to financial statements. This is there again in audit concept. Okay, audit reporting concept. This is audit reporting concept which you will get it in auditing subject. Okay, not required here. And penalties, there is a relaxation in penalties. Small companies will not be levied penalties much like normal companies. If a normal company violates any provision, they will be liable for hectic penalties. But for a small company, there is some small penalties which are levied, not as much as big penalties. Will not be counted for ceiling limit in audit. We all know, all of you would have aware of this point. An auditor cannot do audit of more than 20 companies. You know, right? An auditor cannot do audit of more than 20 companies. While counting the 20, small companies will not be considered. Which means you can do even 100 small company audits. You can do 150 small company audits. There is no limit on audit of small companies. By the way, small company is, first of all, which company? Is it a private or public? It's a private limited company. Only private limited company can get the status of small company. So this is about a small company. And again, there is a prohibition list. Which companies cannot be classified as a small company? There is a prohibition list. What is the prohibition list? I'll tell you now. Just a minute. Which companies cannot get the status of small company? A private limited company can get the status of small company which satisfies 2 conditions. 2 conditions must be satisfied. One is paid up capital shall be less than or equal to 50 lakh, but which may be, you know, the lawmaker can increase it. can increase the limit, but maximum to what extent they can increase? 10 crore. Okay, but right now what is the limit prescribed? 50 lakhs. And turnover shall not exceed 2 crore rupees as per preceding financial year. Right now, current year we are staying is 2020, 2021. Now, what is the previous year? Like preceding financial year, 2019, 20. In this year, 2 crores turnover should be less than or equal to 2 crores, but which may be maximum of 10 crores. Of course, right now 2 crores is the criteria. If these two conditions are satisfied, that company can be regarded as a small company, which is actually originally a private limited company. Now the point is, there are some private limited companies. Which satisfies condition 1, condition 2. Both they are satisfying, but they cannot be called a small company. There are some private limited companies which are satisfying condition 1, condition 2, both. They are actually a small company, but Companies Act do not recognize them as a small company. Why? Which companies, even though they satisfy both the conditions, cannot be regarded as small companies? Which companies? First one, a company which has subsidiary or holding relationship. A company which has a subsidiary or holding relationship. What is that? Suppose mine is a small company, XYZ Private Limited. Mine is actually a small company because paid up capital is less than 50 lakhs and turnover is less than 2 crores. Small company, fine, good. It is actually a small company. But recently we acquired another company. We invested more than 50% of the share capital of another company, ABC Limited, ABC Private Limited. We invested in this company more than 51%. What is the structure of ABC Private Limited? ABC Private Limited paid up capital is just less than 10 lakhs. The turnover is just less than 20 lakhs. So very, very small company. So here if you see one small company, this is small company 1, acquired another small company. So now what happened? XYZ Limited is becoming a holding company. XYZ Limited became holding company. Of which company? ABC Limited. This is a subsidiary company. Okay, both are small companies. Fine. Now, can XYZ Limited claim the status of small company? No, it loses. XYZ Private Limited will lose the status of small company. Why? Because it has a subsidiary company. Originally, ABC Private Limited is also a small company, but now it also loses small company status because it has a holding company. So a private company which has a connection with another company, a subsidiary company, sorry, holding company or subsidiary company, a private company which has a holding company or subsidiary company, even though the private company is satisfying both the conditions, it loses the identity of small company. Hope everyone understood. To call yourself as a small company, to call a private limited company as a small company, strict rule, you should not have relationship with another company in the form of holding, in the form of subsidiary. Let me take another example. Same XYZ Private Limited, where the paid up capital is some 40 lakhs, turnover is some 1.5 crore. Let us assume. Is this a small company? Actually speaking, without any other information, based on this information, can I call it as a small company? Yes or no? Yes. So I can call it as a small company. This company has acquired 20% share capital, 27% share capital of ABC Private Limited. 27% of share capital of ABC Private Limited has been acquired. So XYZ Private Limited has acquired 27% of share capital of ABC Private Limited. Okay, what is this now? Now, can XYZ Limited, first of all, let us look at ABC Private Limited. Let us look at ABC Private Limited. ABC Private Limited, its paid up capital is some 10 lakhs. Its turnover is some 20 lakhs. Its turnover is some 20 lakhs. Paid up capital is 10 lakhs. Turnover is 20 lakhs. ABC Private Limited. Okay. Now first let us look for ABC Private Limited. ABC Private Limited, paid up capital 10 lakhs, turnover 20 lakhs. Okay. Just let us look at the list. Yeah. So 10 lakhs and 20 lakhs. Now ABC Private Limited, paid up capital is less than 50 lakhs. Turnover is less than 2 crores. Agreed? Now can I call this as a small company? Based on this detail, it is a small company. Is ABC Private Limited having a holding company? XYZ Private Limited is holding only 27%. So XYZ Private Limited is not a holding company. But what is XYZ? Then what is XYZ Private Limited? It's an associate company. Is there any prohibition for associate company? No prohibition. Therefore, can I call ABC Private Limited a small company? Yes, you can call it a small company. Now, let us look at XYZ Private Limited. Let us look at XYZ Private Limited. XYZ Private Limited, paid up capital is within 50 lakhs. Turnover is within 2 crores. Both the conditions are satisfied. Is it having a subsidiary company? No, it doesn't have a subsidiary company. It has a associate company. ABC Private Limited is an associate, not a subsidiary. What is associate? I'll tell you later. To call another company as a subsidiary company of this company, minimum 50% or more than 50% paid up capital should be there. Only then we call it as subsidiary company. Otherwise, we don't call it as subsidiary company. Understood? So this example you understood. So if a private limited company which is having holding relationship or subsidiary relationship, then we call it as then that private company cannot be regarded as small company. Suppose if it has a associate company relationship, no prohibition on associate company, so it can still enjoy the small company status. So this is regarding small company. I hope everyone understood. Can I get a reply? Can I get a reply? Yes, almost everyone. Yeah, very good. So this is about a small company. Now let us look at the theory part. Okay. So someone have to read. I will just erase the matter. Someone have to read. And again, which companies cannot be called as small companies? Section 8 company, which is a charitable companies, cannot be called as small companies. Or a body corporate registered under some special act. Some body corporate. What is a body corporate? By the way, when an entity is called as a body corporate, I'll tell you about body corporate also. When an entity is called as a body corporate. So an entity is called as a body corporate which has perpetual succession, which has separate legal entity feature, perpetual succession, separate legal entity, and which has limited liability. To call an organization as a body corporate, it must have all the three features. To call an organization as a body corporate, it should have all the three features. It should be perpetual. It will never have an ending. It should be having separate identity. It should be having a limited liability. The members of that body corporate should have a limited liability. Example, ICAI, our Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, is a statutory corporation formed by an act of parliament. It's a body corporate. It is different from me, member. It has a separate entity. It has perpetual succession. Members, we have only limited liability. Are you getting the point? LIC is a body corporate. All companies formed under Companies Act are all body corporates. We all know all companies are body corporates, but not all body corporates are companies. We know that. So that is what a body corporate. So a body corporate which is not a company, a body corporate which is not actually a company, cannot get the status of small company. It cannot get the status of small company. Why? Because first of all, it is not a company. It is just a body corporate. It is not a company. And finally, of course, a public company. A public company also cannot be called as a small company. I hope entire discussion has been completed. Almost every point I have mentioned. So please read somebody. I'll just unlock you. Prashant? Prashant?
Sir.
Yeah. I hope everything is silent from your end. Okay, fine. Clear without disturbance. Prashant, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So make sure your surroundings are silent. Yeah, read D point 2 subsection 85. Small company.
Small company,
Yeah.
section 2, subsection 85.
Hmm.
Small company means a company other than public company with paid up share capital not exceeding 50 lakhs rupees or
Hmm.
such higher amount as may be prescribed.
Hmm. Continue. Energy. There should be energy.
Okay, sir.
Ah,
Explain this, sir. And we shall not be more than 10 crores rupees and turnover as profit and loss account for the immediately preceding financial year does not exceed 2 crores rupees or such higher amount as may be prescribed. We shall not be more than 100 crores rupees.
yeah, sorry. Small company. I said 100 crore. And I accidentally mentioned 2 crore. Sorry. 100 crore. Yeah, go ahead.
The following companies shall not be regarded as a small companies. A holding company of another company, a subsidiary company of another company, Section 8 companies, a company or other body corporate governed by special act, any special act.
Yes.
Of course, a public company.
Yes. So once again, see here it is 100 crores, Andy. Just make a note. Here it is 100 crores. So it is not 10 crores. Here it is just 100 crores. I just accidentally told us 10 crores, 100 crores. So when a private, I mean, of course, right now this 100 crore limit has no usage. Right now the limit that is used to determine whether a company is a small company or not is 2 crores. This limit is maximum limit which a Ministry of Corporate Affairs can extend. The 2 crores limit can be revised. Until when it can be revised? 100 crores. If this 100 crores have to be revised, who can only revise? Parliament can only revise. Others cannot revise. Yeah, fine. Prashant, please go ahead. Once again, can you read the 1 and 2 point conditions? This is condition 1. This is condition 2. Yes, please read. Yeah, Prashant, I unmuted you.
Sir, once again read, sir.
Yeah, once again, D point completely read.
Small company, section 2, subsection 85.
Yes.
Small company means a company other than public company with which shall not be paid up share capital not exceeding 50 lakhs rupees or such higher amount as may be prescribed. We shall not be more than 10 crores rupees and turnover as profit and loss account for immediately preceding financial year does not exceed 2 crores rupees or such higher amount as may be prescribed. We shall not be more than 100 crores rupees.
So yeah. So the turnover can never be more than 100 crore. Of course, right now the usable criteria is only 2 crore. Yeah, next one.
The following companies shall not be regarded as small companies.
I mean, they shall not be treated as small companies. Well, which companies? Those companies satisfying both the conditions or those companies which do not satisfy both the condition? Obviously, those companies which satisfy condition. Only if a company, private company is satisfying C1 and C2, they can only be called a small company. Inside that, though you are satisfying company condition 1, condition 2, still you will not be called as a small company. But what are those companies? Yeah, first one.
A holding company of another company, a subsidiary company of another company, Section 8 companies, a company or body corporate governed by any special act.
Yes.
Of course, a public company.
Yes. That's it. Next, finally, example. Can you read?
Example: P Limited is a company registered under the Companies Act 2013 with paid up capital of 10 lakhs and turnover 2 crores rupees. Since P Limited is a public company, so complying with others
Requirements.
other requirement, it cannot avail the status of small company.
See, P Limited, the name itself says it is a public company. Remaining information and all, you need not even check. A public company can never become a small company. A small company status can be given only to private limited companies. Yeah, Prashant, read benefits.
Benefits of small company.
Yeah.
Small company may hold only 2 board meetings in a calendar year.
See, normally other companies must hold 4 meetings, but small company can hold only just 2 meetings. Yeah, next one.
Rotation of auditor under section 139 subsection 2 shall not be applied. Annual returns of small company can be signed by company secretary and if there is no CS.
If there is no CS, if there is no secretary, then it can be signed by a single director. Generally, annual return must be signed by 2 directors. What is annual return? All that we will discuss in general meetings chapter. Just for the sake of idea, we are discussing these points. Yeah, next one.
A small company need not prepare cash flow statement.
Yeah, but they have to prepare balance sheet, they have to prepare P&L, they have to prepare notes, they have to prepare statement of changes in equity. Rest all of them they have to prepare. Only cash flow is exempted. Yeah, next one.
Auditor of small company need not report on operating effectiveness of internal financial control.
IFC, we call it as IFC, internal financial controls. Whether are they working effectively or not, auditor of a company has to comment. Getting it? 143 subsection 3 clause I. So he has to give a report on that. So that is an auditing related subject. There you will be getting, if at all you're also writing second group. Okay. So but in company law that point is not much required. Yeah, next one.
Relaxation in penalties leviable.
Leviable. Yeah, next.
Will not be counted in audit ceiling limit of 20.
While counting the limit of 20 company audits, small companies will not be counted. Yeah, next one.
Only private limited companies can be regarded as a small company subjected to satisfaction of above provisions.
This is another clarification. So simply after reading the entire discussion, you can simply in nutshell, I can say only private companies can be regarded as small companies subject to satisfaction of the above provisions. So this is about a small company. I hope everyone clear.
Yes, sir.
All of you? Prashant, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, remaining students. Can I proceed next? Yes. Yes. Next concept, write about holding subsidiary companies under Companies Act 2013. So simply, I'll tell you one example. Let us discuss this concept. Let us understand through examples. So holding company, subsidiary company. So when a company is called as a holding company, when a company is called as a subsidiary company. A company is called as a holding company if it has a subsidiary company. If it has a subsidiary company, simply speaking, a company which has a subsidiary company is called as a holding company. Again, I'm telling you one more point. Holding company is a status. Subsidiary company is a status. Many confused between these. Sir, holding company, subsidiary company, are they one and same? Are they one and same? No, they are not one and same. Holding company is a legal status. Subsidiary company is a legal status. Actually, they both are two independent companies. Both are two independent companies. So they are not actually one and same. Holding company will have a separate PAN number. Subsidiary company will have a separate PAN number. It will have a separate GST number. It will have a separate GST number. This is a different company. This is a different company. Separate legal entity. Holding company is a different company. Subsidiary company is a different company. Holding company has to hold annual general meeting. Subsidiary company has to hold annual general meeting. Holding company shall have minimum members. Subsidiary company shall have minimum members. These two are two different companies. Simply speaking, they are different companies. But the relationship between these two companies is holding and subsidiary. So holding and subsidiary is nothing but a relationship between two companies. Holding and subsidiary is a relation. Suppose someone asks me, what is the Reliance Industries Limited? It is a normal company, listed company, but it has so many subsidiary companies. It has so many subsidiary companies. When someone asks me, sir, what is Tata Sons Private Limited? What is Tata Sons Private Limited? It is a private limited company. If someone asks me what is it, it is a private limited company. I don't say Tata Sons Private Limited is a holding company. I don't say Reliance Industries Limited is a holding company. First of all, tell me, do you think holding subsidiary relation is important to enter into contract? To enter into a contract with a company, is it a holding company? Is it a subsidiary company? Is that idea relevant for us? It's a company, that's it. It has a legal identity. That's it. The relationship, holding and subsidiary, is a relationship study. So from one company point of view, another company is having a relationship, and that relationship is holding subsidiary relationship. Why we have to study this relationship? What is relevant? As you said, you told me holding is a separate company, subsidiary is a separate company. Both are actually two different companies. Why should we study that relationship? Why should we study? There is a very important concept called consolidated financial statements. Consolidated financial statements. See, subsidiary company operations will indirectly affect holding company revenue. Holding company operations will indirectly or directly affect subsidiary company. First of all, why a company forms a different company? Suppose I'm an XYZ Private Limited. Suppose, simple, take example, Tata Sons Private Limited. It can directly manufacture cars. It can directly manufacture salt. It can directly manufacture beverages. It can directly manufacture steel. It can directly manufacture so and so other stuff. But they're not directly manufacturing it. They've opened a separate company for Tata Mobiles, Tata Motors. They've opened a separate company for salt. They've opened a separate company for beverages. They've opened a separate company for steel. Why did they open separate company? Inside all these companies, Tata Sons is having major share. Why did they open separate company? Just to have unique identity. What is the purpose? Unique identity. If someone asks me, sir, Tata Sons Private Limited involved in which business? It is there in cars manufacturing. It is there in all the businesses. In which area they are specialized? If someone asks me, in which area they are specialized? They are not specialized in everywhere. They are good in everything. I can't specializedly tell them where Tata Sons exactly works. Suppose if Tata Motors have been separately incorporated. Suppose if someone asks me, sir, Tata Motors specialization is what? Name itself says automobiles. Sir, Tata Beverages specialization is what? Name itself says beverages. Sir, Tata Steel specialization is what? Steel business. Name itself says. To get that exclusiveness in the business, to get an exclusive recognition in a business industry, companies wanted to float a separate company. Best example, some of you maintain 2 phone numbers, some of you maintain 2 mail IDs. One mail ID is for general, another mail ID is for specific. Same mail ID functions, no? In all the cases, same mail ID, one mail ID can be used for all the functions. But why are you using second mail ID or third mail ID? Because we want exclusiveness. So holding subsidiary relationship, a company is forming another subsidiary company just for the sake of exclusiveness. Not for any business goal, not for any commercial goal, not for any money-making process, additional money-making process, just for exclusive identity. I'll tell you, you would have heard 100% subsidiaries. You would have heard 100% subsidiaries, which is impossible. 100% subsidiary company is an impossible concept. Sir, where did we hear 100% subsidiary? By the way, can you remind us where did we hear? I did not remember 100% subsidiary. Can you remind us where did you hear 100% subsidiary? Income tax. Section 47. Exceptions to transfer. Exceptions to transfer. There is one exception. Any transfer of capital asset by a wholly owned subsidiary company, to a holding company, or by a holding company to wholly owned subsidiary company, provided the transferee company is an Indian company, then the transfer is exempted. It is not liable for capital gains tax. You would have heard this point. Any transfer of capital asset by a wholly owned subsidiary company to the holding company, or by a holding company to the wholly owned subsidiary company in a scheme of arrangement, provided the transferee company is an Indian company, then the transfer of such capital asset is not liable for capital gains. That is what section 47, one of the subsections says. Here they said wholly owned subsidiary company. Sir, is it possible to have a wholly owned subsidiary company, 100% ownership? Is it possible? We all know, to establish a company, forget subsidiary holding is just a recognition. First of all, to establish a company, 2 persons are required. No? 2 persons are required to establish a company. How come 100% subsidiary? What is 100% subsidiary? You know, what is a 100% subsidiary? You know, in one company, another company has 100% share capital. If one company has 100% share capital in another company, it's a 100% subsidiary. If I have 100% share capital, where is second person coming from? Where second person is coming from? A company shall have minimum 2 members, minimum 2 shareholders. So if at all, which means first company can take 99.99% shares. Remaining 0.01% must be held by some other person. Compulsory 2 persons are needed. When 2 persons are needed, where is the question of 100% ownership? 100% subsidiary. 100% subsidiary is a beneficial term, beneficial interpretation, and not legal or literal interpretation. You should not interpret 100% subsidiary literally. Beneficial ownership point of view you should interpret. You should interpret 100% subsidiary from the point of view of beneficial ownership. Suppose I'll tell you one company. There is a company called ETA LLC, a very famous company, Emirates Trading Agency, which is registered in Abu Dhabi. This is registered in Abu Dhabi. It has 100% subsidiary companies in India. It has 100% subsidiary companies in India. They have so many 100% subsidiary companies in India. One company, ETA Engineering Private Limited. This is a real example I'm taking. This is not just a casual example, real life example. ETA LLC has 100% subsidiary which is there in the ETA Engineering. It has another company, ETA General. These are some companies which are based in Chennai. These are the companies which are based in Chennai. These 2 companies incorporated in Chennai. This company is there in Abu Dhabi. They say these 2 companies are 100% subsidiaries of Dubai-based company, they say. But if I see the share capital of ETA General or ETA Chennai, ETA Engineering, if I see 99,99,999 shares were held by ETA LLC, foreign company. Foreign company is having 99.99% of shares. Another 1 share is there in the name of some director of LLC. This ETA LLC will have a director, no. In foreign company, they will also have a director, no. That 1 share is held by director. Why 1 share is held by director? Because in India, to form a private limited company, minimum members are 2. Now 2 members are there, no. 1 shareholder is the company itself. Another shareholder is one of the director of the company. Now this director, though that one share is there in the name of the director, but beneficial ownership of that 1 share is again with the company. Only legal owner is director. Beneficial owner is again who? Company. Just for the name's sake, the director is holding 1 share. Normally he is not the owner. This is called 100% beneficial ownership. This is how a 100% subsidiary is possible. This is how a wholly owned subsidiary company is possible. Hope you understood. So this is how 100% subsidiary. Now again, coming back to our discussion. So what is a holding company? What is a subsidiary company? Now we are getting some new points, I think. You're understanding the points or terms in a completely different way. It's not different. This is how you have to understand the law. Holding company and subsidiary company are not, these are not identification, or these are not names. These are legal identifications. These are legal recognitions. Holding and subsidiary company is a relationship. They both are 2 different companies. First of all, understand this point. They both are 2 different companies. Now let us enter into the actual legal part. When a company gets the recognition of holding company or the recognition of subsidiary company, in which kind of relationship? If we have this kind of relationship, we will get the status of subsidiary company or holding company. Holding company abroad, it is called as parent company. The holding company in abroad is referred as parent company. So, just a minute. So holding company in abroad, it is called as a parent company. Subsidiary companies, you can simply, even in outside India is also called as subsidiary company. You can also call it as child company. Okay, there are some other names also. Sister company, there is a name, sister company. Okay, I'll get to that later. Okay, I'll get to that later. When a company will be called as subsidiary company. Now, let me take example. XYZ Private Limited. This is a company which is incorporated somewhere at the Hyderabad. Example, Hyderabad, it is incorporated. Now, there is another company called ABC Private Limited, which is also there in, let us assume, Hyderabad. This is a different company, that is a different company. Subsequently, what happened is XYZ Limited invested in ABC Private Limited. One of the shareholder is their major shareholder who is having 60% shares. ABC Private Limited, one of the shareholder is having 60% shares. He sold the entire 60% to XYZ Private Limited legally. By complying with all the legal formalities, ABC Private Limited shareholder who is holding 60% shares in ABC Private Limited sold his entire shareholding to XYZ Private Limited. Now, in ABC Private Limited, more than 50% of voting power, is with whom? 50% of voting power is with XYZ Private Limited. After one of the shareholder, Mr. A, one of the shareholder, after he sells his 60% ownership in ABC Private Limited to XYZ Private Limited, then ABC Private Limited, more than 50% of the voting power is now transferred to XYZ Private Limited. Therefore, XYZ Private Limited is called as holding company now. ABC Private Limited is called as subsidiary company now. Why? One of the criteria to call another company as a subsidiary company, one of the criteria, when one company controls more than 50% of voting power of another company, then the other company is a subsidiary company for this company. Are you clear? All of you? If you are clear in this example, I'll proceed to the next example. All of you? Can I get a reply? Yes. Fine. Yes. I'll proceed. Now let us look at another example. Suppose this is like a company acquired more than 50% voting power of another company from the existing shareholder. Okay, now let us take another example. XYZ Private Limited. This is a company again incorporated in Hyderabad. This company want to start a new business. They want to start a new business. They started. Now, how do they want to start a new business? Not in this company name. They want to start in another company name called ABC Private Limited. They want to open a new company. In this company, two promoters are there. One promoter is XYZ Private Limited. This itself is a promoter. Another promoter is Mr. A. Both of them came together and then formed ABC Private Limited. Mr. A is holding 40% shares. Messrs. XYZ Private Limited is holding 60% shares. So XYZ Private Limited subscribed 60% to the memorandum of ABC Private Limited, whereas Mr. A subscribed 40% of the shares of ABC Private Limited. Now, ABC Private Limited is again a subsidiary company of XYZ Private Limited. ABC Private Limited is again a subsidiary of XYZ Private Limited. So accordingly, XYZ Private Limited became a holding company, whereas ABC Private Limited became subsidiary company. Another example. So a company becomes a holding company of another company if this company holds at least 50% or more than 50% of the voting power of another company, then this company is called as a holding company and the other company is called as a subsidiary company. When again holding subsidiary relationship comes, again the law says when a company or a company itself, when a company itself or together with its subsidiaries, a company itself or together with its subsidiaries holds more than 50% of voting power, in another company, then this another company will also become a subsidiary company of the first company. A company either itself. Now before we discussed two examples. No, we discussed two examples from itself perspective. The company itself is holding more than 50%. So we know it is a holding company. Here it is not just itself. Either itself or together with its subsidiary companies, holding more than 50% of voting power in another company, then it is called as a holding company. Now let us take an example. I will write an example. You have to tell me whether that example is correct or not. Now, A Limited is holding 20%, B Limited is holding 20%, C Limited is holding 20% of ABC Limited. So A Limited is holding 20, B Limited is holding 20, C Limited is holding 20. Each of them are holding 20% of ABC Limited. Whereas the relationship between A and B is 0. The relationship between B and C is also 0. The relationship between A and C is also 0. No relation. A Limited is a separate company, B is a separate company, C is a separate company. Now please tell me, can I call A Limited, B Limited, C Limited as holding company? Can I call ABC Limited as a subsidiary company of A, B, C? Is it possible? Can you give me a reply? No. The answer one I heard is no. Another no. I want still more replies. Yes or no. You have to tell me. Only two have replied. Are you remaining or sleeping or not? Only three replied. No. Fourth one. Still I want your reply. A, B, C are separate company. So no. Okay. One fellow has replied yes. Answer is no. The answer is no. A Limited, B Limited, C Limited are separate companies. Is B Limited subsidiary of A Limited? No. Is C Limited subsidiary of B Limited? No. Is C Limited is subsidiary of A Limited? No. A Limited, B Limited, C Limited do not have a relationship. So individually they are holding 20%. Together maybe 60. Together they are holding 60. But is B Limited subsidiary of A Limited? Is C Limited subsidiary of A Limited? Is A Limited subsidiary of B Limited? Is A Limited subsidiary of C Limited? Is other relations also. Okay. So none of these companies have any relationship. Three different companies holding 20% in a fourth company. All together, we will not be counted together. We don't know each other also. That is a different company. We are a different company. So we will not be called as holding company. That is not called as subsidiary company. Now let us take another example. A Limited is holding 60% of B Limited. A Limited is holding 60% of B Limited. A Limited is holding 55% of C Limited. A Limited is holding 55% of C Limited. Now, there is a company called ABC Limited. In which A Limited directly holding 20%. B Limited directly holding 20%. C Limited directly holding 20%. Now tell me, is ABC Limited subsidiary company of A Limited? Is ABC Limited subsidiary company of A Limited? Think of it and then tell me. Almost 5 replies I got. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Many are saying yes. So the answer is yes. Yes, ABC Limited is a subsidiary company of ABC Limited is a subsidiary company of A Limited. Another question. Is ABC Limited subsidiary of B Limited also or C Limited? Is it a subsidiary of B Limited and C Limited also? Can you reply? Second question, is ABC Limited a subsidiary of B Limited or C Limited? Mixed answer I am getting. Some are saying yes, some are saying no. The answer is no. ABC Limited can only be a subsidiary of A Limited, cannot be a subsidiary of B Limited, cannot be a subsidiary of C Limited. Look at the wordings. Look at the wordings. Now see, I'll highlight it. Controlling of voting power point, B point, okay? A company which controls more than 1/2 of the total voting power. A company which is A Limited, okay? Let us assume A Limited, controlling more than 50% of the voting power, either on its own, either at its own, entire 50% is held by A Limited alone, or you see this, or together with one or more subsidiary companies, together with one or more subsidiary companies. Now you see, A Limited individually have only 20, but together with its subsidiary company called B Limited, together with its subsidiary company called C Limited, A Limited plus its subsidiary company called B Limited, its subsidiary company called C Limited, together are holding more than 50%. Definition satisfied. So only A Limited is a holding company of ABC Limited. Only A Limited is a holding company of ABC Limited. I'll tell you one blind rule. I'll tell you. Simple rule. A company will have only one subsidiary company. A company can have only one subsidiary company. Sorry. A company will have only one holding company. Suppose I'm a company. If someone asks me how many holding companies I have, only one holding company is possible. Because when more than 50% of the voting power is with one company, rest of the percentage is less than 50. Obviously, another holding company is not possible. A holding company may have any number of subsidiary companies, but subsidiary company cannot have more than one parent company. This is a blind rule you have to follow. Whenever you get a dilemma, you just have to follow. If A Limited became a holding company, automatically B Limited and C Limited are not holding company. Suppose you see, from B Limited point of view, let us check the definition. B Limited is holding 20%. Correct? B Limited is holding 20%. B Limited, along with its subsidiary, B Limited, along with its subsidiary company, B Limited, along with its subsidiary company, is holding only 40%, less than 50%. Therefore, B Limited is not a holding company of ABC Limited. C Limited, of course, not a holding company of ABC Limited. Hope everyone understood. All of you clear? Everyone? Now, suppose once again, one more point. If at all A Limited is treated as subsidiary, for ABC, ABC Limited will never have another subsidiary. That's it. Once finalized, A Limited is a holding company. That's it. So this is holding company, subsidiary company relationship. Third relationship is also there. Don't wait. Don't conclude. Not yet over. Another relationship is there. A company which controls more than 50% of voting power, a company which controls more than 50% of voting power, not directly, but through its subsidiaries, then the third company where subsidiary companies are having more than 50% voting power, then the third company will be a subsidiary company for the first company. The definition looks very big, no? I'll show you what is it. Deemed subsidiary. What is that? Deemed subsidiary. So deemed subsidiary. A company shall be deemed to be a subsidiary of holding company. A company shall be deemed to be a subsidiary company of holding company. Means deemed subsidiary. Even if the control referred above, control is what? Control more than 50%. Control referred above is of another subsidiary company. The control may be of another subsidiary company. Then their holding company will also be a holding company. Simple. If I have to tell this as an example, C Limited is a subsidiary company of B Limited, whereas B Limited is a subsidiary company of A Limited. Automatically C Limited is a subsidiary company of A Limited. That's it. Automatically C Limited will become a subsidiary company of A Limited. B Limited is a subsidiary of A Limited. C Limited is a subsidiary of B Limited. Automatically C Limited is a subsidiary of A Limited. When somebody asks who is your holding company, C Limited has to straight away say ultimate holding company. You cannot say near holding company. You should say always about ultimate holding company. Suppose if A Limited itself is not there, then what is parent company for C Limited? B Limited is a parent company. Suppose if B Limited has another parent company, then C Limited is what? It's a subsidiary of A Limited. A company will have always one holding company only. That one holding company can be either B Limited or A Limited. Since A Limited is there, therefore for C, A is the holding company, not B. You cannot call it as B. Suppose if A is not there, then B is the holding company. This is how you have to understand, all of you. Just a minute. So that's it. Hope everyone are clear, all of you. Are you clear regarding the concept, everyone? Everyone, can I get a reply? Yes, almost everybody are crystal clear. Now I want somebody to read until now whatever is completed. Until now whatever is completed. Okay, I mean, I think I didn't tell about this point. I only spoke about voting power angle. A company becomes subsidiary of another company based on voting power itself. I spoke about. There is another criteria which also decides subsidiary holding. That is controlling the composition of board of directors. In fact, here it is not directly board of directors. All are majority. If one company controls board of directors composition in another company, it may be all board of directors or majority board of directors, but I'm controlling majority of the board of directors. Controlling of board of directors means what? You can appoint them, you can remove them. You are the one who is the decision maker. In that company, who should be the director? I am the decision maker. In that company, which director should be eliminated? I am the decision maker. If I am the decision maker of another company's board of directors appointment removal, then I am said to be controlling the composition of the board of directors of another company. When a company have control over board of directors of another company composition, I am called as holding company of another company. So that company becomes a subsidiary company for me, because here I am able to control board of directors completely. But you know, logically, you can control board of directors only. You can control board of directors only if you have voting power. Only if you have more than 50% paid up capital shares. Only if you have more than 50% voting power. These two are actually interrelated. Though they spoke differently, for me, according to me, I consider both of them are interrelated. Only if you have voting power in that company, you can control board of directors. Otherwise, you can't control board of directors. It is not possible for you. So if a company controls the board of directors, majority or all, then this company is holding company. Second criteria, if this company has more than 50% voting power directly on its name or indirectly on its name, plus through subsidiary companies in the third company, then also holding company. Or this company do not have shares at all in that company, but this company, subsidiary company, has more than 50% shares in that company. Then if for my subsidiary, that company is a subsidiary, automatically for me, that is also a subsidiary. So everyone are clear? Okay, so we'll read now. We'll read now. Before I read and explain, I want you to read once. I just kept open, no? You just read it once. I'll just relax for 2 minutes. You're just shouting, no? So I'll relax for 2 minutes. Okay, you read. 2 minutes, you read. I hope you have read it. So let us make someone read. Someone is asking me 50.01% as also can be treated as subsidiary. Of course, more than 50, no, that's enough. Anything more than 50, even you have a 0.1, even you are having just one share beyond 50%, you are holding company. That's it. Okay. Now, Prashant, can you read? Bit louder, Prashant. Some disturbance we are getting. So bit louder. Yes. Subsidiary company. Yeah, read.
Sir, I do not have paper, sir.
You're not having?
Printing school, sir.
Okay, at least on screen it is visible, no?
Not visible, sir.
Screen share I did, yeah. From where you are watching? Like, how are you watching the class then?
With mobile device, sir. Okay, sir.
Screen is there, no? Yes.
Subsidiary company, section 2, subsection 87.
Yes.
Subsidiary company as or subsidiary in relation to a holding company means a company in which the holding company controls the board of directors.
A company in which the holding company controls board of directors, controls voting power. So if a company controls board of directors, if a company controls voting power, that company which is controlling is called as controlling company, holding company, parent company. That company which is being controlled is called as subsidiary company, subsidiary or child. Yeah.
Control of board of directors. Controls the composition of board of directors or control of voting power. Exercise or control more than 1/2 of the total voting power.
Please, all of you add a word, all or majority. If that word is there, it will be even more clear. Yeah, next. Control of voting power.
Control of voting power. Exercise or control more than 1/2 of the total voting power, either at own or together with one or more of its subsidiary companies.
A company directly can have more than 50% voting power in another company, or a company, it may have less than 50, but together with one or more subsidiaries can have more than 50%. Then also it will be called as a holding company. So I am having 20% shares in third company. My subsidiary company is having 40% shares in that company. Me 20, that 40, together 60. So that is also possible. Yeah, next one.
Deemed subsidiary. A company shall be deemed to be subsidiary company of the holding company, even if control referred as above is of another subsidiary company of the holding company.
A company shall be deemed to be subsidiary company of holding company, even if the control referred as above, whatever the control point I said, if that is of another subsidiary company. That's why, suppose C Limited is a subsidiary of B Limited, whereas which B Limited is a subsidiary of A Limited. A Limited subsidiary is controlling C Limited. Therefore, indirectly, A is also deemed to be controlling C Limited. That's why it is called. Then C Limited is a subsidiary of A Limited. Yeah, next.
If all or majority of director can be appointed or removed by a company,
at its discretion. At its wish. Istam vachinatlu. Yeah. So if all or majority directors can be appointed or removed by company at its discretion, then such company will be
controlling composition of board of directors.
So if a company is controlling majority of the directors, then this company is deemed to be controlling the composition of board of directors. Yeah, next.
Shares held by a company or power exercisable by it in another company, fiduciary capacity shall not be considered for determining the holding subsidiary relationship.
See, fiduciary relationship means what? Most of the cases you will not get this point. Nobody explains this point. What is a fiduciary relationship? What is a fiduciary relationship? Suppose there is a company called XYZ Limited. The company called XYZ Limited. There is another company called ABC Limited. Two companies are there. XYZ Limited is holding shares of ABC Limited of almost 60%. Almost 60% is holded by XYZ Limited. But XYZ Limited, I will not call it as holding company. Why? XYZ Limited is holding 60% shares as a trustee. As a trustee of an individual. As a trustee, they are holding. Just XYZ Limited is holding 60% shares of an individual. Actually, the shares belongs to individual. So XYZ is holding on behalf of individual 60%. If you are holding shares on behalf of somebody, maybe in your name it were there temporarily. In future, it will be transferred to the original owner. You are only a beneficiary. You are only a temporary owner, temporary legal owner, trustee. You are holding in a fiduciary capacity. Then XYZ Limited cannot be called as a holding company. Why? This 60% shares XYZ Limited is not absolutely owning. Can XYZ Limited sell this 60% to somebody? They can't. They don't have that absolute ownership. Why? Because 60% shares are not belonging to XYZ. Actually, they belong to Mr. X, some individual, a trustee. XYZ Limited is a trustee of Mr. X. He wrote a power of attorney until I come back from so and so particular trip. Until then, XYZ Limited will take care. XYZ Limited is just holding as a fiduciary relationship, which means legally XYZ Limited may be owner, but beneficially XYZ Limited is not the owner. So long you are not having a beneficial ownership. Beneficial ownership means what? You can do whatever you want with that asset. On an asset, if you are a beneficial owner, you are the ultimate owner as per law. You are just here. XYZ Limited is just a normal owner. It doesn't have any right to sell the shares. It doesn't have any right to keep the shares as a security at some other place. No right is there. Therefore, XYZ Limited is a fiduciary position shareholder. So it cannot be called as a holding company. So that is what. Okay. So it's almost, Prashant, do you understand this point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. So once again, read the fourth point. We'll close it.
Shares held by a company or power exercisable by it in another company in a fiduciary capacity shall not be considered for determining the holding subsidiary relationship.
Yes.
Continue. Finally, company includes body corporate.
Whatever the point is there in bracket, no, that is also shareholding.
Okay, sir. Shareholding in a capacity capacity of trustee, that is shares held on behalf of others.
Yes.
Example, shares kept as a security to banker.
Yeah, we
Not
suppose in this
accurate.
example is we have given shares in the name of banker just to keep it as a security in the name of banker. Banker do not have any right. Shares were transferred into the name of the banker for getting a loan. Just because the shares were in the name of the bank, can bank become absolute owner of the shares? No. So can bank be called as holding company of another company? No. So though I'm giving a similar example, it is not accurate example. Okay, just an example for the sake of your understanding. I'm just giving. You know, if you want to keep securities in a bank, no, you have to transfer the securities into the name of the bank. Only then bank will give you loan. There will be an assignment note, assignment of shares note. So assignment note they will be given to you. Assignment is one mode of security. Pledge, mortgage, hypothecation. Fourth one is assignment. LIC policy you can assign in the name of the bank. Shares you can assign in the name of the bank. Just because the shares were transferred to the name of the bank, bank will not become absolute owner. The ownership is always with you, individual. So this is what subsidiary company concept is. Finally, company includes body corporate. The concept of holding subsidiary can be applied to other body corporates also. Other body corporates also. You can apply to other body corporates. I hope all of you are confident regarding subsidiary company. Can I assume? All of you? Just finally, end of the class. Can I get a reply? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, fine. So for the day it will be sufficient. So again, we'll continue in the tomorrow's class. So almost it took so much of time.